Hey, what's up, guys? So I just parked my e-bike right here in front of this restaurant, and I noticed that you can see in through the windows into the chef's cooking noodles and everything, which could make for a really dope photo. Lately, I've been obsessed with these street shots on Instagram of people through windows, especially foggy windows, and it's hard to see in the GoPro footage here, but the chefs are cooking noodles and there's steam coming off the pots and everything, so it makes for some really dope photos. I actually started shooting about 5 minutes prior without the GoPro, but then I realized it was so sick, so I wanted to make a video out of it. So I got my GoPro on and started shooting. So I got a couple photos that I'm actually really happy with. This one here where you can see the steam, and this one here where you can see he's clearly wearing a surgical mask, which is probably something they don't typically do. So I just kept shooting here for a little bit and got a few more shots. So I walked around the corner and around to the other side of the restaurant, and the first time I went around, right here in the window there was a chef cooking. I think he was making some dumplings or something, but he was right up against the window, and you can see like there's some reflections from lights from other shops, so it looked really sick, and there's some reflections going across his face, and I managed to get at least like one photo that I was actually really happy with. So then I kept walking around this area, which is called West Nanjing. You can see all these delivery guys here just chilling on their bikes and playing on their phones, so I tried grabbing a couple shots of these guys here just chilling. And then I was hoping I could make a shot out of this convenience store, but it didn't really turn out how I had in my head. So I just kept walking, and immediately I see this guy wearing a hat that isn't very typical for China. So I'm trying to walk and take shots at the same time, and then trying to adjust and like zoom in, but it wasn't really working compositionally, but I managed to get a couple shots off that I think were alright. I decided to give up on that guy wearing the hat, and then I came out to this area here, and this girl seemed to be walking in front of this wall, and she seemed to be on a phone call pacing back and forth. So I tried to get a few shots, but the first two times I actually missed the opportunity. It wasn't quite ready. So I thought I'd sit there for a minute and just try and wait for her to walk back and see what I could make of it. And then right there she walks back, and I got this photo that I'm actually super happy with. I didn't expect to get anything like that from here. And she walked back again, and spray and pray again, just hope that you get something, and I got this one. Next I walked up to this shopping mall, and I could see at this metro station there was a girl standing on the wall, and I was waiting for these people to pass and try and get a shot of her just standing there and the different color of light coming from the metro. And then I walked a bit closer to try and get a tighter shot, and I managed to get this one, which is pretty minimalistic. It's nothing too special, but it works. Tried walking around the shopping mall more, but there wasn't really anything going on, so I came up to this intersection here, and I saw another Family Mart. I don't know what I was trying to really get here. Maybe just someone coming out of the Family Mart, or somebody on a bicycle driving by, and I managed to snipe a bicycle through all these cars and pedestrians, and it came out like this. Nothing too great, but then I kept walking to the next intersection to cross the road, and I thought I'd try and make something out of these lights flashing on the ground, but it didn't really turn out. There wasn't anything compositionally that was too flattering. So this is actually where I was trying to go. This is probably the best neon sign in Shanghai, but tonight, I don't know why it's just not on. I guess probably they're closing early tonight because of the coronavirus. So this is the restaurant that the neon sign is for, and I thought I'd take a little stroll down here, and I could see the chef in the window again. Of course, I had to try and take a photo of him here. It's not my favorite shot of the night, but I'm pretty happy with it. So after that I kept walking to the end of the alleyway, and then I came up to this Japanese restaurant here. You can't really see it in the GoPro video too well, but there's a man outside smoking. Thought it looked pretty cool, so I took a few shots. I guess I'm just trying to stabilize my camera here up against the tree, but I managed to get this one. From there I just started walking back to where I started from, I tried a few shots along the way. Wasn't really feeling it. There wasn't anything too interesting. So crossed the road, went back, and then I saw this place that was under construction, and I could see the light behind, and then this person walking towards me. So I tried to get a shot here, and it actually turned out pretty cool with the pose that the person had while they were walking. So I walked by this security guard earlier, and I thought I'd give it a second chance now. And he was up against the wall this time, and I could see that there were some lights behind him that could create some potential bokeh, and who doesn't love bokeh? So I managed to get this one, which I thought turned out alright. And as I said 2 or 3 times already, I like photos of people behind glass, so I'm trying for a taxi driver here, and I gave it a couple tries, but it's quite difficult. I was struggling with it more than I thought I would. Tried, but didn't really turn out how I wanted to, so just kept walking to see what I could come up with. Walking up to this bus station here, and then I suddenly see this bus pulling up. So again, I try to shoot somebody in through the glass, and this time it worked a little bit better because I had more time to shoot and the windows were way bigger. I feel this one also works really well because he's sitting alone on the bus and he's got his mask on, so it really portrays the story of like the coronavirus. Up here is an old movie theater, and I've always wanted to shoot it but never really did because I never really had any good ideas. Just tried to get somebody riding their bike in front of it, and from here I just tried to zoom in with my 70-200 and punch in on like the street lights and try and get somebody that was walking underneath and maybe get like a silhouette of them. I got one with a guy walking and then another e-bike driving by, but I feel like the framing is off on that one. If you couldn't tell already, I really wanted to get a shot of somebody behind a window, so of course this security guard in his little box here had to try and get a few shots. And for this one I really wanted to get some eye contact, so I just held on and waited for an extra minute. After that, I wasn't really expecting to get too much. It had already been about 45 minutes since I started shooting. Saw another Japanese restaurant here, thought I'd give it a chance, and there were some people out front having a cigarette, so that always makes for a decent subject. I don't know about you guys, but I always like to review my photos right after I take them, so as I'm walking away, just kind of checking to make sure I got something I like, and then from there I just basically booked it back to where I parked my e-bike. Tried to take a couple shots along the way, of course, but nothing really was working, and I think I was getting pretty tired at that time. Alright guys, well that wraps up this shoot for the day. Let me know if you like this kind of video. This is my first time shooting this kind of video, and it's my first time shooting street in a really long time. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe of course, and hit me up on Instagram.